What is going on, my reefing fan? March here. This is Fragbox TV. Okay, this is a question that we get all the time in the store when we sell saltwater corals, is where am I going to put them? So we're here at my house. This is my at-home tank, our Reef Casa Studio XL. It's the largest one we offer, and I have a little collection of corals on the bottom here. And what I like to do are these sort of videos where I walk you through what I'm thinking and why I'm placing stuff where I'm placing them, because a lot of keeping these things happy and healthy and thriving for a long time is where you're going to put them in the tank. So some of them like higher light, like this one up here. This is a Acropora. We have a Miyagi tort. Tortusa is the Latin name. We just call it tort for short. Oh, hello, Mr. Fish. He's not shy anymore. He was kind of hiding for the first few days. We have some hammer corals. We have some duncans. Two different types of flower pot. Actually, one is a goniopora. This is a bulldog. Hello. The other one is an alveopora. We have some palithoas, and we've added some zoanthids and a leather coral. So different types of corals, like, oh, and right there we have one little mushroom coral, typically low light. Different corals, different placement, and different flow requirements. That's why we have that one higher up. On this tank we're using a prototype light, which is our new Reef Casa Manta. I know people are going to ask us what light is it. It'll be released soon. So what I'm going to do right now, because it is looking a little bare, the tank has been set up for a couple months now. It needs a little bit more light. I'm going to run over to Fragbox and I'm going to go through the tanks. I'm going to pick some coral out and then I'm going to bring it back. I'm thinking that this over here, I want to turn into a little zoa island or garden. Why this rock? Because this is not really attached to the main structure, so zoanthids grow quite quickly, and I want something that is easy to manage. So if I want to take them out and frag them, this rock would be ideal for that, because I can just, you can see, easily pop it out, take it, cut the pieces off, and put it back in. So that's going to be my little zoa rock. I'm thinking to do the gonies over here, just for the very fact that they look so good right now where they are. I don't really want to mess with them all too much, because if you can get these guys to open and look good and look like that, just leave it alone. Just let it be. So I'm going to stick them kind of going up this rock right here. And on that one, Euphilia, hammer, LPS, aggressive, doesn't want to touch stuff. And I think he's getting too much light in this spot right here. I like to see it a little bit more open, a little bit deeper golden color. So I think it's getting overexposed. I'm thinking maybe over here to kind of keep the zoanthids in check, because if they grow into these hammers that I'm going to add, they're actually going to get stung. But anyways, enough talking. Let's go over to the shop. Let's grab some tools, some glue, maybe some coral food, some other goodies, and then we'll bring it back over here and we'll start placing them in the tank. One of the nice things about living close to the shop, and just walk over here and let's go shopping. I am really, really spoiled with that fact. Okay, let's see what we're going to look for. I definitely want to take home a couple more zoanthids, so let's see if we can find some classics over on this side. I do already have, oh, those two right there, which are the gobstoppers and Princess 99, but I'm really, really digging these right now, which are the blue agaves, because we don't usually get blue in any coral, you know, especially zoanthids. So I'm going to take home one of these for sure. I love acans, so I just can't help it. I'm going to take home a collection of these as well. I'm eyeing this flower pot here, which might look nice in our little garden. I don't have this variety, so you're going to come with me. See what I mean about the hammer? The one at my house looked quite small. The head should be bigger like this. These ones look healthy, a lot more golden, so that's why I said just earlier I think it's getting too much light. I like this one right here, the hologram. This is a really cool piece. I'm going to take this. I'm just grabbing small ones, you know, because they're going to grow. So I always say that to people. When you're buying frags, buy for color. Don't buy for size. If you keep them alive, it doesn't matter how small they are. They're going to grow, and it's half the fun. You know, you can save some money by getting smaller ones. People are always asking us for bigger ones. I get it. If you got a big tank, okay, then buy a colony. But when it comes to frags, really just buy the ones that you really like, and don't worry too much about size. I'm going to take one of these because that other Tortusa is doing well. This is the Bonsai Velita, and the tank is fully cycling. So what do I mean? It's been set up for months, so I don't have to worry about, you know, the pieces that I'm adding. I can't really be adding too many right now. Maybe if I was going to add like 20 frags of hard coral, you know, I'm going to have to start to really pay attention to the alkalinity and calcium. This is a mushroom, but the ones I'm picking right now, I don't expect these to suck up too many of the minerals and things in the tank. You know, we've got 1, 2 soft corals, a couple LPS. So I should probably start looking at magnesium if I'm going to add these, but I don't expect them to take up too much of the other stuff. So I don't have to worry. And I'm really digging this blue frog spawn, so I'm actually going to take one of these as well. It's a little bit bigger, but we don't usually get this sort of color variety in, so you come with me, buddy. All right, we're back at home. We got the frags in the tank. I've aligned them all here on the sand bed. And now we can start to sort of glue them. This is a really fun part of the process. I think of it as sort of like underwater gardening. I'm going to use Superset. Oh, damn, it's kind of dark down here. 1 second. Guest appearance by Lizard Lady. It was bright, huh? Yeah, that's good. Actually, that's perfect. Yeah, let's leave the light on. So we have here Superset. Oh, where is it? That is the Reef Casa Super Glue. Very sticky. This is gonna, it's in the name, Superset. And then I'm also going to use these right here, some bone cutters. We do carry these on Fragbox or Reef Casa, you can get them. But what these are for, why I use them, is to just cut off the stem, the bottom of some of the plugs, because it's going to make it a whole lot easier to stick them when they're flat. If you don't want to do that, I got one more option for you. These are made by my friend Alejandro, aka Jalapeno, and these are what he calls frag savers. So rather than snip off the bottom of the plug, the way they've been designed, this is the mini size and this is the large size. You guys have seen me in so many videos. Oh, there goes the camera. You guys have seen these in so many videos. To use them, basically you just take your, let's say, zoanthid would be a really good example. You just take it, if you don't want to snip it, maybe you want to just put it there, and you can just basically sit the plug, look at that, nicely inside the rock, and as it grows, it's going to get a really nice, very natural dome sort of shape. So I love when zoanthids and soft corals kind of take the shape of this rock, and then you don't have all the trouble of gluing. It also makes it really mobile. It looks a little bit unnatural now, but it's going to turn completely purple, and these are really popular, so you can find them on our site, and they just make this whole process a lot easier. I personally, I'm not really crazy about plugs. If you ever snorkel or dive or get under the water, you don't see any frag plugs. All you see is plastic and pollution. I'm just kidding. No, actually I'm not kidding. That's really what you see, but we don't want any plugs, so I'm going to cut most of them off, and I'm going to start with the zoas. So let me start making some snips. I'll do one actually on camera. And there go the bone cutters. Okay, I'll do one just to show you, but I won't bore you with doing all of them because it'll take me some time. I'll do it off camera, but let me just show you one here. So this is the bottom of the plug. This is the part we call the stem. And with the bone cutters, really easy. It's quite soft. It's just snaps right off. So now this piece that I have here, obviously without that stem, is going to be so much easier for me to glue down on the rock. And if I want to get really into it, let's say I want to get rid of the plug entirely, if I'm very anal about it and I don't want to see, what I can do is use the same bone cutters, and I can continue to shave off parts of the plug. So let me just do that into my bucket over here. We don't want to cut the zoas, we don't want to hurt them. But as you can see, I've completely taken off basically everything. So all I'm left with here is just a little piece of rock from which I can glue. Here's our piece. Let me see if I can manage not to glue my fingers, which is not going to be possible. I'm always going to end up gluing them. Let me show you how much glue I'm going to use. It's super thick. It's super strong. It's formulated by us. I tried every super glue manufacturer out there, and I went with the most viscous one that I could find. So I like to say about a teardrop. I know that's not a very scientific measurement. About a teardrop amount of glue, and I'm going to add it to the Zoa garden right over here. I want it to face up and towards the light. So as I'm gluing it, what I do is I call it shimmy. The glue, as soon as it hits the water, it's going to start to harden. So I kind of shake it and then hold it in place. And that's it, a couple seconds, and you can see our beginning of our zoanthid garden. Here's the blue agave. Now this piece, this is going to be really easy to take right off the plug entirely, and I'll show you why. Okay, so on this piece here, I have my zoanthid, right? Let me try and focus, and you see the zoa is actually attached to a little piece of rock, which is then glued to the plug. So this is ideal. If you want to take it off a plug, this is, the easiest way to do it. In a lot of cases, the zoanthid is going to be grown right over the plug, and we're going to hurt it if we end up cutting. If I try and cut it off the plug, if you're really anal, you want to get rid of it. But this is super easy. All I have to do is get my bone cutters right under there, and without, look, almost any effort. It's gonna, you know, I can reuse this and save these. And now I have my little blue agave that is ready to glow. Go, not glow. Glow is a different word. I didn't mean to say. Okay, so we're gonna give it a little bit of glue like the other one. I'm gonna try and watch my fingers. Wear gloves. Kids, do as I say, don't do as I do. So listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Don't look at my actions. If I say to wear gloves, you probably should. Okay, and same thing, I want it pointing up and towards the light. I'm gonna give them a little bit of room because they're gonna grow into each other, but zoanthids are not gonna hurt each other. So even if they touch, we have absolutely no problem. Frog spawn and hammer, if they touch these, we're in trouble. They're gonna kill them. Lastly, we have our Pineapple Express. Now this one, if I try and take it off the plug, let's take a look at it. Let's get a little closer look. So it is kind of, it's right about to grab onto the plug. So I'm gonna chance it. I really don't like plugs in general, so I am gonna cut it. Again, with the bone cutters, I'm just gonna try and get sort of the glue that's right there. And very gently, look, I got lucky with that one. Might lose one head that's on the plug. Not even, I'm a pro. It's like I've done this for the better half of my life. Okay, and same thing, it might be a little bit trickier to glue. So if you have some tweezers, you could also use tweezers to hold the zoa so you don't have to glue your fingers. I hate. How many times can I say hate? I'm gonna say it one more time. I strongly dislike the feeling of super glue on my fingers. So wear gloves. But Pineapple Express, very fast growing zoa in my experience. We grow a ton at the store. I'm gonna put it right over here so it's got room to kind of spread and grow before he encounters any of these other ones. Okay, let's move on. Now we have the flower pot. So we have this. This is actually an Acropora. A lot of times goniopora, Acropora, names go back and forth. The way you tell the difference between the tentacles, so one has 24, one has 12. Is that right? One has 12, one has 6. I've only had one glass of wine. Anyways, let's move on. We're just gonna take this. We have two options here. I could, oh, where's the camera? I could cut the stem, or I could cut the algae completely right off the plug. And I'm gonna go with option 2 because I'm not a fan of the plugs. So I'm gonna try and get the glue, and same thing, very gently. Get some of these bone cutters. If you don't have them, I think they're 25 bucks on their site. If you take care of them, they're gonna last a long time. And we don't wanna crack the skeleton here. So it's quite brittle. It's giving me some resistance. You know what? Do I wanna break this on camera in front of 4,000 to 5,000 people? I'm not sure. Because if I force it, there is a chance. Sometimes I've seen where you'll actually crack the skeleton right down the middle. In order to play it safe, what we can do is flathead screwdriver would be nice, and we just get it right underneath there, and you could pop it off, but I don't have one on me. So what I'm gonna do is just, well, take the stem. I don't know where that went, somewhere in the corner of the room. But same idea, we're gonna take our glue. We can use a little bit more on this one because it's a little bit heavier. There we go, there's our glue. And like I said, I want to do the algae goni flower pot sort of combo area right over here because they seem to be doing well in this spot. And if you can get goniopora to open, that's awesome. Just keep them there. I'm getting good color right on the sand bed. I'm getting good polyp extension. So I just want them slightly off the rock, slightly off the sand rather, because I'm not a fan of keeping corals on the sand bed. It's just a personal thing, personal preference. I like the sand bed super clean, white, pristine, unobstructed. I don't know how many words I can come up with to describe. I just want nothing there. I think it's because I'm sort of minimalist at heart. And it also lets me know if anything falls over in the tank, I can see it because it's on the sand. And typically, I don't keep any corals on the sand. But some of them, like plate corals, open brains, maybe cynarinas or acanthophilias, they really want to be on the sand bed. Okay, here's another, the red goni. I'm going to try again to take it right off the plug. Let's see if I can, oh, I got lucky. There we go. So look, there's the plug, there's the goni, textbook, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, lots and lots of room. Obviously, well, or maybe not obvious, maybe this is your first time, you want to glue with the polyps facing up. We have had customers in the past tell us, oh my god, my coral's not opening. They send us a photo and unfortunately they've glued the coral upside down. This is a for sure recipe for death. The glue is going to kill them on the polyps, so just make sure you're gluing it the right side up. I know it sounds a little bit silly if you've done this before, but maybe you're watching this video and you haven't, and this is your first time and you're trying to learn before you go and screw up everything. Okay, I'm just kidding. You're not going to screw up anything. Okay, red goni. He was really good on the sand bed, so I suspect he's going to do really good right here. We're only like an inch up, inch and a half. It's going to be the same par output, more or less, about the same flow. So I really just want some nice colorful flow, kind of like accentuating this vertical piece here. It's unusual rock for me too, if I'm going to say. This is not typically what I do. It's a lot more vertical. Like I wouldn't usually do something like this. I'm trying to be different. I get bored, you know, I do the same thing over and over again, and we want variety. Let's move on to the Duncan, because this will be a little bit trickier if he's already attached. He's just begun to attach right there to the plug. So I don't think of Duncan typically as like an encrusting coral, but they do a little bit. They want to grab onto the base or the rock so they can feel like they have a good kind of foothold, and then from there they're going to begin to branch out once they feel steady. So I'm probably going to upset them a little bit, but again, I'm not a fan of the plugs. I want them off. I don't think I'm going to crack the skeleton. I'm going for it. Okay, let me try from this side. So, ta-da, look at that. Beautiful. That's exactly what I want. And I'm saving all these plugs because they're good. There's nothing wrong with them. They cost money. They take jalapeno time to make them. He's actually behind the camera laughing as I'm doing this. Say hi.
Hello.
There he is. And now we have the Duncan. Duncan likes flow. Duncan likes flow. So I'm going to put them a little bit higher. They can take a little bit more light. And I have my nozzles right here. So we keep Duncan in the store close to the kind of the point of Acropora. The only other thing to note though, as it grows, it's going to shade everything that's underneath it. I don't really see myself placing any corals over here. So this might be a cool spot. It'll give him a spot to kind of stick out, stretch his tentacles, grow, and then I'm not really losing any real estate. If I wouldn't put it there, maybe I would put it over here, just because shade for mushroom is really no issue. So if you want to create shade, you can use a Duncan coral. Some pieces like Red Monty Cap is another one that grows so quickly and it creates so much shade. So you want to put a little bit of thought into where you stick it. But I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go with this first spot right here just because I want to see it in the flow. Good amount of glue. It's slimy, the Duncan coral. It's got like a slimy texture. I can feel it on my fingers as soon as I touch it, and it's a little bit resistant to the glue, so I put a little bit extra. Okay, let's start. You know what? Mushrooms, I think I'm just going to leave them right here. This one seems to be doing well, and I'm going to just kind of nestle him in the rock, maybe right here. A little bit of shade. Mushrooms, shade is no problem. Sometimes you can find them in the ocean on the other side of rocks, like almost like you flip over a rock and you find potato bugs. It's the same thing with mushrooms, recordias, right? So Jalapeno used to live in Puerto Rico and collect recordias in his very own backyard, and he was telling me sometimes you flip over a rock and the other side is also, it's covered, right? Yeah, yes. It goes wrapped right around the rock. So it's the same thing with these. If in the shade is really, really no problem. Let's do this. Let's do a hard coral. So we have our Miyagi tort up here, Acropora, SPS, hard coral, headaches, expensive, hard to keep. They're more or less like women. They're just like girlfriends, you know. I'm just trying to get a response out of this lady. I'm just kidding. They're great. They're beautiful, delicate, and kind creatures. That's what I meant to say. Because sometimes the words come out funny.
Good save.
Okay, so where do we want to put this? Sometimes you get lucky. You see, you got a stem on it. I don't have a lot of rock work here, but sometimes you just find a spot in the rock that it was waiting for you. You didn't know, but your whole life was leading up to this moment, and you just, that's it. You know, it just clicks, and you can get lucky, and it looks natural and almost hides the plug. That being said, I am not finding that place today. Maybe back here, actually. This is getting direct flow from the pump. Oh, never mind. Look at that. What do we think, boys and girls? I always said that I wish that this somehow could be a two-way street where I could talk and then you guys could somehow respond on the other end, but I haven't figured out a way in which to do that. I'm kind of liking that spot there. Both the acros together. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to leave it on the stem just to show you guys a little bit of a different technique. So in this case, I'm actually going to glue the stem that I've been giving so much shade on up until now, and I'm just going to stick it right in the rock. Stem in. I'm not giving no stems here. Boom. It works. It's going to grab onto this piece, it's going to encrust, and it's going to look great. Okay, we got one more Goni, so let's add him to our little garden. because it's nice and easy. And then I'm going to move on to the last few, which are the aggressive corals. You know what? Maybe I should have placed them first. Hindsight is 20/20, because they're aggressive. So maybe I should have just given them their spot and then worked around them. But I know I want the gonies here, so let's go with this green one. What I like to do as well is sort of find the spot where I want it and then glue it, instead of like gluing it and then trying to figure out. Try and, you know, take your time, play with the rock. I'm doing it a little bit faster than normal because your attention span on Google is usually about 15 to 20 minutes, if that. So that feels good. I'm trying to find a spot usually in the rock that just works naturally, almost like it was, you know, like you're putting together a puzzle piece, but you don't yet have the picture. So that feels good. Nice big dollop of glue, and without any effort, he's gonna stick right there. Now I got the acans left. Acans, low flow, low light. They just want to hang out, man. You know, just think of them as like, you guys have any stoner friends? Or maybe you're a stoner. You enjoy smoking weed. You enjoy partaking in, you know, some of the ganja, the 420, you know, living that chill life. Think of acans like that. They just want to hang out, bro. Bro, order a pizza. What is Domino's saying? Just chill. Life is good. Take it slow, homie. That's acans. That's where they want to be. Nice and low. Low light. If you're losing color on them, two things. Either too much light, or it could be nutrients. It's too clean. They like it dirty. They want them phosphates. They want nitrates. And more specifically, they want you to feed the world's best food, which is coral curry. Get some of this stuff. Okay, that was a shameless product plug. I actually make it. It's our own homemade food. And it's only $10. Actually $10 Canadian, which is like $7 US. We just make it because we want to share. We're not really making a lot on it. It's very labor intensive. I just cracked an acan down the middle. I'm ashamed to show you this. This is what I was trying not to do the entire time. See that? I was trying to take it off the plug. I was getting greedy. It will survive, but I'm going to go right at the base now because I made a non-fatal error. But that is the risk we take sometimes when you're trying to take them off the plug. If they're really, really glued on there, there is a chance that you can damage it, like I just did. But too late. It's done. As it grows out, I'm not going to see it anyways. Flathead screwdriver might be better if you're trying to get them off the plug, if you can find like a little spot to get it underneath. I'm going to try one more time with this green acan, just because I got a lot of meat here and I feel confident I'm not going to break it, but we will see. If I could just live with the plugs, this would be a lot easier. No, that time it worked. Ta-da. No damage. So just go slow, take your time, have a beer, have a glass of wine, have a tea. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You live your life, but I can't believe this fly just landed on me in the middle of the video. Okay, we're going to add this green one. So acan lord, Acanthostrea lordowensis, or acan lord for short. These will not hurt each other. You can have them really close. You can create a garden. That is not to be said for acan encanada or enchilada or enchinada, whatever you want to call it. Super, super aggressive. Okay, where are we going to stick the hammers? Let me think about. Okay, I got all the Euphilia, frog spawn and hammer off the plugs. If there's any piece that you're going to snap the skeleton of and crack, it's going to be these. They're really, really brittle. Take your time, or just leave it on the plug. If you're not experienced, this is a very high chance of, I would say, damaging the coral. And if you're not confident in doing, just leave it on the plug or cut the stem. Don't try and do like I did, because the glue is quite effective at bonding it to the plug. This guy, like I said, I think it was getting too much light there on the sand bed. So I'm going to go a little bit, you know, if I'm going from sand bed to high up, but here's a little bit more indirect. I think I'm going to try right here. And then I'm just going to watch the color. So I want to see more of a deep yellow color like I showed you at the store. And I want to see the polyps come out a little bit more. I think it is getting light shocked, but I don't want to change the light because everything else is doing really well. So, you know, if one coral is not doing well, you don't want to make changes, too many changes really to the water or light or flow, just to make one piece happy if you got everyone else that's already content. So in this tank, that was really the one piece. And it looks healthy. It's just, it could be healthier. So I like to think, you know, like me, like I don't need to order Domino's once a week, but I do. So it can be healthier. The corals are the same. Frog spawn and hammer, can they touch? Yes. I don't care what you read online. They can touch. Don't let the skeletons touch. Give them breathing room or swimming room or whatever you want to call it. But if the tentacles touch, you're more than fine. And I can speak from experience. I think I'm going to go high up. I think I'm going to actually even go almost in the back, because these are highly aggressive. They really don't play nice with anything but their own kind. They're not inclusive. They don't want to be friendly. And they don't have to be, because they're just so beautiful. Lots of glue on this one. I stick them there and hope for the best. Hopefully tomorrow nothing moves. I'm going to leave my little toadstool in the frag saver down here, because my fingers are full of glue. And I'm done gluing for the night, and that's it. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please let me know, because I'll make more of them. Comment below if you want to see another type of video. And I think that's it. We'll wrap it up and hopefully see you guys back here on the next episode of Fragbox TV. Take care. Bye for now.